On the day before Thanksgiving, there was a magic show at my school. I was so bored as I fidgeted around in my desk, watching the leaves drift past the open window and the squirrels scampering after all those acorns. After all, I'd waited my entire life to see Derek the Dazzling's magnificent magic show. Just when I thought I couldn't stand tracing my hand into the shape of a turkey one more time, the voice bellowed from the loudspeaker. "Go to the auditorium for the magic show." I was so excited I leapt up from my seat and ran down the hallway, only running over a few first graders, when the whistle blew. "Slow down, no running in the hallway." I slowed down and skipped the rest of the way. After all, I wanted my seat in the first row. The magic show started, and card tricks and illusions of all kinds beguiled my eyes. Then the magician tried to pull a rabbit out of his hat, but he ended up with a jellyfish instead. Sticky situation I have here." Poof! He made it disappear. He fished around in his hat several more times, and I was starting to think it had more in it than my mommy's purse. Well, he finally ended up with that rabbit. Then he said the best words in the world. "I need a volunteer from the audience." I raised my hand high and said, "Please, oh please, oh please, oh please, pick me." After an eternity, Derek said, "I'll take that girl there in that swirly pink and yellow shirt, and my God, child, did you slay a Muppet for that jacket?" "Never mind, come on up here. I'm going to do my most magnificent trick of all." He pulled out his wand and said, "Abracadabra, alakazee, be something different for me." All of a sudden, a light flashed. I stood there hoping and wishing that I'd be turned into a bumblebee or butterfly or a fairy, something with wings so I could flutter off into the distance. Then I didn't feel quite the same. I heard, "Gobble, gobble, gobble," and worst of all, it came from me. The entire audience, everyone I knew in elementary school, was howling with laughter. I stood there stuck in a turkey body. I was so embarrassed. I ran as fast as I could on my little turkey legs and hid underneath the piano that was on the stage. That magic show went on like nothing had happened. Finally, everyone left except me. The stage was dark and desolate, and I slowly tiptoed my way out. What was I going to do? What was I going to tell my mommy? How was I going to explain that it was just me stuck in a turkey body? One thing was for sure. I had to find that bumbling magician. Derek the Dazzling was indeed Derek the Disastrous, and he needed to make this right. I started out across the field, and a soccer ball whooshed by, nearly knocking my head out. I thought, I have wings, I'll use them to fly. I flapped, but I soon found out I was too plump for my wings to take me anywhere. So I ran higgly-piggly through the town, searching for that magician. But I ran into a butcher from the corner deli, who chased after me with his butcher knife aimed at my neck. I had to sidestep as he tripped over an alley cat. As I started out again, I saw her, my hope, my salvation. I would know her anywhere. It was Sasha, my best friend, the red hair, freckles, mismatched socks, and she said, "Come here, little turkey." I knew she recognized me, and I ran off with her. She took me home, But to my horror, she put me in a pot and started to fill it with water, saying that she was going to cook me just like she'd seen on those cooking shows. Sasha, I said, it's me, your bestest friend in the 2nd grade. But all that came out was, gobble, 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 gobble. She turned around to turn the stove on. I saw my chance. I kicked that water bucket away, shook off my tail feathers, and got out of there as quickly as I could. By now, it was starting to get dark, and I knew that I had to return to the scene of the terrible crime. I went back across the schoolyard, daintily avoiding all the dangers. The one light that was on in the school was the principal's office. I tiptoed in and saw my mommy. But how was I going to explain that it was me just stuck in a turkey body when all that ever came out was gobble, gobble, gobble? She was there with that bumbling magician, and he looked at me and said, Abracadabra, alakazee, be your true self once more for me. Poof! I was transformed back into a little girl. I got to go home, and the next day was Thanksgiving. My family came, and they brought all kinds of yummy food. My grandma brought those candied yams. My uncle, well, he's crazy, so he brought cranberry sauce. But I set up the whole feast. We piled our plates high. And try as I might to resist the foul, my hunger got the best of me. I lifted that turkey thigh, took a bite, and before I could swallow, you guessed it, all that came out was